Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? CheFPV here. Sitting here with the Spotlight Quad today, or the Quad Spotlight. It's from Aerial Sports League. It's the Hiro 180X. So this is one of my newer frames to the fleet. I actually built it with some components from my sponsorship from Team Electrify RC. I appreciate the sponsorship. I am part of Electrify's RC's FPV pilot team. Burst is actually the manager of the team for Electrify RC, which is also Hobby Wireless's newest brand that they're branding some electronics packages under. I might have that wrong, the exact wording there. I apologize, Burst, if I do. But Electrify RC is basically a distributor of product branded with the Electrify RC brand, and other retailers can purchase that product for retail sale. So these are the motors and the ESCs that I have on this build. The other components we'll show, we'll open it up and take a look at. But as far as the Aerial Sports League itself, an amazing organization. Really check it out. Aerialsports.tv. Mark Kornblatt and his crew are doing all kinds of educational stuff within the community out in the West Coast especially, but they do it everywhere. They've done things in New York and just every city. But as far as their kind of mission is to kind of bring this technology and educate people about it of all types and all walks of life. And one of the things about it is making it budget friendly. But with budget friendly things comes breakages. So breaking a frame or breaking your parts that are within the frame is really a big deal. I mean, the washout rate in this, I would say, is about 70% as far as people that just give up because they break things or never really get it flying right. And they just don't really understand what they got themselves into. But a lot of that component happens with breakages and not being reliable. So this frame is kind of unique in the sense that it is deemed indestructible. Now, let's be honest. We know we can break these things. Jason Boz, dude, he killed one his first flight. Now, he dropped it from like 75 feet into a ravine of rock and canyon. But, point being, they have actually a warranty. On the bottom, you'll see actually a authenticity and a code that comes with each frame. I knocked the props off. I didn't have the nuts on because I wanted to take them off. But the thing is just durable. And to prove that point, I mean, here's a pair. We know what vice grips weigh, right? Like, that's a decent sized pair of vice grips. Where my ESC is, where if I took a hit on a branch, I mean, I would kill an ESC. I've done it. I just took a vice grip and pounded on everything, man. No problem. And that reliability, coupled with the fact that you see these Racecraft 5051s, they fit because the arch on them gets over the edges of the pod that's kind of lower. Now, a 5040 by 4 doll prop will fit. Butter cutters from Lumineer will not. They sit too low. Some props will not fit. In fact, the doll 5040s, I haven't flown them yet, but they're really, really close. And on the back side, the way I have my SMA, which you could mount it a little lower, but with a doll 5040, that prop would be like right over the edge right here and probably cut into it if it got bent. So instead, I have my antenna bent straight down. The 5051s is fine, doesn't cause any damage. And then I have my PDB is a Maytech. It's sitting on the top part of the sandwich, actually, with the little tabs sticking right out of these kind of cuts that I made. So the power wire there, mount the battery on the bottom. GoPro will fit on top, especially if you take the SMA and mount it down in the back like I did. And another reason to mount it from here to there is you want to keep from smashing it when you break or when you land on it. With it in the top, you'd have to bend it back and then it'd be in the way of the props. Then when you crash, it would snap that SMA right off. So put it in the back. You don't have to run the power wire here. You can run it off the side. There's actually a made groove to come out the side. If I rebuilt this thing, I probably would run the wires out that edge for the power and then put the SMA here in the back, straight a little lower. But I'll do that next time, next build. I'm going to build another one of these for sure. You'll notice again, the 5051s are on the Team ERC 2450 2205 motor. So there you go. Electrify RC 2205 2450. It's a great motor, dude. Spinning these 5051s on a 180 frame that, even though with the canopy comes in at like 311, the fact that you can go balls to the wall and not worry about the components, the aerodynamics of the pod, I swear, play into it. And those 5051s are just amazing on these motors with that tight frame and that tight configuration. So it flies like nothing else that I have. You can actually put the camera at a perfect almost 90. It's probably like 88 degrees or something. Tilt it all the way down, whatever you want. And I have mine right now put together with, instead of the zip ties, I just have electrical tape. I definitely recommend zip ties over it whenever you go actually fly, especially if you're trying to get a good tune on it. Any kind of oscillations can be caused by this canopy not being all the way secure to the base, especially if you made even just light modifications to the body, the lower body, which I don't recommend too many actual cuts to the lower body because the rigidity is already compromised a little, being that it's plastic and it wants to oscillate. So what you want to do is make sure that it's always together. So when you're test fitting parts, your test hovering, even test idle up on the bench, I recommend putting the canopy on. And for me, I didn't want to burn through a bunch of zip ties and zip and cut. So I was just using tape for at least mock-up and quick hover testing, and even some light PID tuning. But to get a really hard baseline and like read the logs, I was putting a zip tie over it. So the tape is really just a stopgap and a quick kind of functionality thing. So we're going to open this thing up now, and you can see how this thing is built, at least how I built it. I did have a different build in mind whenever I first started, but I had some oscillation issues from idle up, and I started swapping components, and so I kind of just ended up with this build the way it is. The biggest problem that I have with the build was I had to use a PDB with a 5-volt because I ended up going with a SP3 Racing board just because I was swapping boards out and just trying different boards, thinking it was the board, and come to find out it was just not having the canopy on. It was causing my isolation problem. So I just left the configuration as it was, but to do it, I'll show you, and let's open it up this way. So when you open this up, you'll see that I have my standard 4-inch Wi-Fi Experts SMA UFL plug on my Unify Pro Race, and this Unify Pro Race was just sitting right here on this back kind of pedestal. It fits perfect. You can see the LEDs out the back. You could even, in theory, adjust using the hole here for the old SMA with a screwdriver. If you get the right angle in there, you could tap the button, but I would really just take it off probably if I had to. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect. Well, it'll be fine. Here's the PDB tab that's sticking out the back. I did have to mod, like I said, I just put a slit in the back of the shell to accommodate. Ideally, I would have used a different PDB and not had to do that. I could have actually just ran the SMA out the real slot there. X4R, you're not going to, I mean, it's black because it's wrapped in electrical tape. I wrap all of them that way after I depin them. I went ahead and direct solder the wires to the board, to the tabs left where the pins were. And then I have the antennas just run along the side here, and then up underneath each ESC in the rear. Those ESCs, Electrify RC, BL Helis, they're running multi-shot, 30 amp. So the antennas just lay underneath there, and the point being is it's not a carbon fiber frame, so I don't have to worry about any kind of issue with transmission or blockage. So I haven't had any issue with them there. So like when I'm pitched forward, the rear motors are up at a 45 or a 90, whatever. So they just work. So it works perfect. So that's why I have that. And then this camera mount is the one that comes with it. And oh man, where is it? There it is. Take these two screws off. The front two I don't even have actually mounted with any kind of nut or screw because I don't need to with the back. The back is actually raised up. You can see you actually have some space under there. I have a 10 mil stack of it's a 10 mil standoff on top of the standard 5 nylon that's on the front. So on the front, I just have it friction fit. The camera's there; it's mounted in there, and then you have your PDB is the way that I have this set up here. I know it's not the prettiest, but it actually is if you consider that's a really long VTX to camera wire. But besides that, everything's nice and tidy. Underneath there is the SP3 Racing flight controller. I'm not going to pull everything up just because it's just under there. It's wired pretty short and I can't really get to it. But so the X4R, Unify Pro, Swift camera on this one, friction fit, and like I said, you use wires. You could actually put your RX or this VTX. I could put the VTX under here, and that would be fine. I wouldn't be able to see the lights as easily though, so I like it, and it would shift with a crash, and I don't like stuff shifting, so I'll leave it up top. Put this thing back together and just show you again kind of how easy it goes together. I'll say I am so impressed, not only with the durability, the speed, the power that this thing just has, but I was impressed with the build. Aside from the electronics problems that I had with the oscillations that was racking my brain, the build was so easy. I mean, the hardest thing to do is keep these darn antennas under the ESCs without taping or gluing them, which I just need to put a dab of hot glue or something. But it is just awesome how easy this thing goes together. I mean, yes, the electronics package I choose is a typical package that I know is kind of tight and works cleanly. But there was no point in building this in which I actually thought, oh wow, how am I going to fit this in there? Like everything, it was just such a clean, easy build. The camera mount is the only real issue. I'm going to actually, hold on, give me a second. I got to position this. I'm trying to get this thing positioned just right. There we go. There we go. All right. I was trying to get it positioned in the back. Oh, my antenna popped out. I need to push it deeper. All right. I'm going to put this one. There we go. Thing actually, like I said, look, I just put it back together just like that, and it actually went together exactly how I wanted it. All the wires are in there, everything. So what I'll do is I'll actually use just a little bit of tape on each arm now. Make sure the canopy stays in its place for now, and then I'll just drop some zip ties on it whenever I'm done 100%. I'm about to go out to the field, make sure there's nothing else I want to work on or anything. But for now, I could definitely throw some props on it and test hover it. So, great design. It flies awesome. Check out some flights that I have with it on my channel. I'm glad you watched the Quad Spotlight. Check out aerialsports.tv if you want to see where to buy the frames. They got them at CheFPV and all kinds of other places currently. I definitely recommend it. As far as a starter setup frame, I think it's great. Again, it's going to protect all your components when you crash, and you are going to crash. So Aerial Sports just fits a perfect kind of setup for that. And this one is fast as heck. And if it's going to start making me feel comfortable in racing, I might build a few of these in different configurations just for racing. I mean, why not have something that I could pound around and jump right back up and go? So fly safe, fly smart, just fly. Aerial Sports Hiro 180X. Peace.